When Damian Lillard suffered a non-contact knee injury in Game 4, almost everybody thought that winning the fifth game would be a walk in the park for LA. Surprisingly, Carmelo Anthony, CJ McCollum, and the Trailblazers put up a great fight in Game 5 and could have even forced the sixth game if LeBron and AD hadn't had a legendary shooting night. Hi everybody, this is Anthony, and in today's NBA talk, I'm going to explain how King James and the Bro finished off Rip City with 79 points on an absurd true shooting percentage of 89% and led the Lakers to their first playoff series win since 2012. Now before starting this video, I'd like to thank all the fans who subscribed to the channel and showed valuable support from more than 30 countries across the world with views, likes, comments and shares. I also want you to know that I'm looking to get 1,000 subscribers very soon, so if you like my content, please subscribe to the channel and share it with other people so that I can publish valuable content more frequently.
And now, let the talk begin.
In the third quarter, AD started to get hot from the very first play and ended up scoring nearly half of his 43 points. Watch how Danny Green pushed Gary Trent Jr. before setting a cross screen for AD. Instead of switching on to Davis to avoid any open jumper, Trent Jr. gave up an easy look from mid-range and the late contest by Whiteside looked meaningless. Let's take a look at the very next offensive possession for LA. Watch how JaVale McGee outraced Whiteside in transition and caused trouble for the Trailblazers with a smart cut to the basket that put Nurkic in a 1-on-2 disadvantage against the big guys. The double team on the catch left Davis wide open in the corner, and after a beautiful no-look pass from McGee, the jab step by McCollum didn't bother AD enough, and the spot-up three would result in a splash. In addition to his huge contributions on offense, King James made the big defensive play that no one can sleep on. With the Lakers up by 5, check how LeBron stayed with McCollum to avoid a 2-on-1 disadvantage for McGee in the paint, and although Whiteside won his battle against McGee under the basket, LeBron didn't give up, came over to help and smashed any hopes for an easy 2 as hard as you can smash that like butter. The Blazers defense continued to give up open looks and allowed AD to make it rain once again, and on this play, after a switch resulting from the back screen by McGee, Hort should have stunned it to LeBron to force the kick-out pass and to close out in time. Instead, he helped one pass away off of Davis, who was 2 for 4 from 3, and gave up another corner 3 that would make it a 7-0 run for the Lakers. With the Lakers up by double digits, LeBron attacked Nurkic in another isolation. The Bosnian Beast anticipated a drive similar to the previous play, which made him retreat after a jab step. As a result, King James stepped back for a big 3 in his face and extended the scoring run to 13 unanswered points. Despite the 14-point deficit, the Blazers stayed in the game and managed to narrow the gap to 5, but 2 bad plays by Melo hurt them at the end of the third. I totally understand that he wanted a switch to avoid the mismatch in LeBron's favor, but in a close elimination playoff game, you can't practice social distancing and give up a practice shot for a red-hot AD.
We ain't talking about the game. We're talking about practice, man.
To make matters worse for Melo and Rip City, LeBron positioned himself perfectly in front of Melo, gave him no breathing room, and drew a push for a bad fifth foul that would hurt the Blazers big time, especially on a big defensive possession in the fourth quarter. The Lakers started the fourth with AD on the bench, and although the GOAT Caruso channeled his inner LeBron for a monster chase-down block, the Blazers managed to tie the game with an 8-0 run. So how would the Lakers respond? With the shot clock winding down, it appeared that Melo would come from the weak side for the double team. LeBron quickly realized it and avoided the double team with a quick step back for a huge corner 3 that gave the Lakers a little breathing room. Poor Nurkic. With the Lakers up 3 and the small Trent Jr. guarding LeBron, the Lakers went for the post-up to benefit from this huge size advantage. Check out this amazing hang time for a 35-year-old and a beautiful double clutch finish to avoid the block attempt by Nurkic. With LeBron sitting on the bench, The Lakers had a great matchup, knowing that AD had a size advantage over Melo, who was also carrying 5 fouls, but were in big trouble with a 1-point lead and only 5 seconds on the shot clock. Give credit to KCP for his smart cuts, and watch the terrible rotation by Simons, who put Nurkic in a 1-on-2 disadvantage in the paint. As a result, instead of forcing a desperate long jumper, the Blazers gave up a buzzer-beating dunk by none other than Dwight Howard. What a huge play by AD and KCP. And now, here comes the biggest play in clutch time. On the smart side pick and roll with LeBron and AD, the Lakers forced a switch and put the Blazers in a bad position. On the one hand, it would be risky for Nurkic to help off of LeBron, who had a hot shooting night, and on the other hand, the tallest Blazer on the weak side can't protect the rim because of foul trouble. Therefore, AD easily overpowered Trent Jr. on the drive for the end one, and the Lakers would eventually put this game out of reach. At the end of this video, what are the strengths and weaknesses of this Lakers team? Can they get past the small ball Rockets lineup that defeated them at the Staples Center in February? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you next time.